Viewer discretion advised. Take caution and heed. Full speed ahead because this is not a mirage. Confession heals the soul. That's what they say. This one was released from a proud militant retired Marine Corps Navy SEAL war veteran. He is withholding no longer. He revealed every gruesome piece of evidence from his chilling childhood past, reaching out from his time capsule. First, he was adopted into a socialite, middle-class family. A mother, a father who resides behind a picket white fence with a dog and 2-dog garage and a 4-bedroom house. From outside, he was a wholesome canvas, the kind that you see on the cover of a Home and Garden, Bridgeport, Connecticut magazine. But inside, it housed children who had survived foster care, group home, and they cried for happiness. Finally, they had a place to look forward to, a place to call home. The mother was a Stepford wife. Her devotion was to her family, husband, and house, of course. She would look the opposite way by submitting to her husband's rules. He made the household law. The focus was academics and athletic games. Trophies were stacked onto the shelves, lined up against the wall like a Smithsonian museum. Celebrations filled every holiday. The traditions set up. Husband as a breadwinner, mother as a homemaker, children's dreams came true, a normal, stable environment. But there is no such thing as perfection. What creeps into the dark eventually burst out from the closet. The light revealed a massive, dirty bloodstains of dirty laundry. Meanwhile, flowers and fruits bloom into spring. The hits haunted, latent image, guarded, blended within the trees because their bodies were never seen or solved. They laid buried beneath, and then you wonder why mental illness, drug overdose, or the major crisis. There are too many unreal child-adult post-trauma. The veteran continues to release his nightmares to his psychiatrist. While under hypnosis, part of his treatment of psychosis, Dr. Shelby Rosenfield was actually an undercover special intelligence agent, journalist, with a PhD in psychology, undergrad major in political science. Intrigued, she gathered the names, the main perpetrator, the wizard, who headed his own circle. He became a socketeer. Through hints from hide and seek, make-believe, scavenger games. She accessed photos, passports, records, and an autobiography book of the wizard from his mother. From her own word spoken confession on raising on a feminist child. This verification could have built an incredible crime case, but the public was too busy being distracted on the swamp manipulative economy. Furthermore, the hypnosis brought out the veteran's inner child. His mission was complete when he mentioned Tiberius Island. Every summer, his adopted family prepared the vacation. That is when the nightmares began, grew into a documentary movie series. He unlocked the chest vault filled into alleged victim's head. No one hardly knew, so the horror started to metastasize. A shepherd boy with a blonde hair and a heavenly baby blue eyes. At age 9 to 13, he had an innocent smile, and he became a storyteller at age 21. After he was deployed, the Marine Corps, and at age 27, he was known as a domesticated, highly decorated Naval SEAL at age 37. He went on to a substance abuse. 42. During his retirement, he went through sobriety from drugs and alcohol. 45, the lieutenant, John Doe, followed his recovery regimen by consistently seeing the therapist. Then 46, the veteran, was transferred by referral by a psychologist. The remedy for both removed the monsters out from his bed. Also, the mental capacity was released from a sealed bottle. The bottle burst with scattered glass and became fragment pieces, which was helter-skelter, but which the victim convinced that he was now an utterly powered of freedom. Now he's recognized and acknowledged as a hero. His untold horrific event brought as an author who cracked the case. It opened the door of a historical classified document of Tiberius Island. At age 53, he wrote his memoir, The Tyrant Covering of Tiberius Island, attached with a quote, "Please do not bury me with my story." Here was a selection of the retired lieutenant's manuscript. Smoke and mirrors led to a frantic scream, screaming up from horror, sickness, blasphemy, and even dealing with shameful thematic drama and schemes. The Roman Empire's entertainment was imperialism against indigenous land. It became a collectible hobby, a transitional skill of government taxes, overseers, and control. Another back was the ledger of royalties. Another was the tangible assets, pledging war on top of the wars. The hunger fed the Roman empires of knowing of idle sports, which they had bared no shame. It also scammed, manifested from a madman's dream. Tiberius was the original architect, the blueprint, torture chambers, testing dummies and cruel, elaborate equipments, sex orgies, spellbound rituals, mass toga, arts and craft, sororities, and more repeated wash, rinse, and recycle. His parties held no secret. If you were poor or young soldier boy, he made you one of his or his noble's toys. The puppies fed his monstrous appetite. The wizard's story mirrors the horror of Nietzsche, Mississippi, Devil's Punch Bowl. The tyrant government had passed this psychopathic congenital disorder. It spread from Duble River to the Wine Main Canal. The belly of the treacherous wheel sailed into the Caribbean seas. The price of his power became uprise of rebellions, too much injustice, a scale of self-conflict. The failure ones had no guarantee in what circumstances they could have been redeemed or replied. Therefore, the nightmares began to wash away in tide. But the generational curse continued. The rebrand of Caligula's hand, a young emperor, a jackal, transferred into his head. He attended childlike games. Incest was his main conquest. Senators were forced to watch. Those who participated in the fun he extorted. It was his plot to rule in his favor. Blackmail added more injustice. Conflict against the subjects, all to uphold his ideology of authority. Modern day, the elites uprise, enterprise into what you consider the alias dress code. Blended civilization, perhaps slightly different, but the demoralizing, worthless, failed parental supervisors are the same. Children are lost in the spirit in Tiberius and Caligula, Roman demigod empires, and Nepos chanted in his last catchphrase, "In what the artists have seen in me." Question: where do you think the modern elite monstrous villains are more like crazed groupie fans get it from? The tyrants shared a similar covenant, despite different zip codes, covenants, or even dealing with continents, provisions, and seas and rivers. They share the idyllical tree from their original mentors, tyrants from the Roman Empire.